Hello, disruptors. Oh, we're so excited. I know I'm thrilled about today's episode. Today, we have another phenomenal episode of Mindset Master Moments with yours truly, Dr. Alisa. We have an extraordinary guest backstage whose journey is of self-discovery and empowerment. It will deeply inspire you. I am talking about a phenomenal woman who you'll get to know a little bit more later. She teaches transformation. She talks about how her life transformed through the challenges that she endured and how she's turned it into a powerful journey of helping others find their true self through innovative approach of spiritual personality typing. Her work guides individuals to uncover their true potential by combining spirituality and travel. I know you guys hear me on this podcast all the time. I'm always talking about living out of a suitcase, seeing the world. The reason why I do everything I do, what's in it for me with everything I do is traveling the world. Well, she includes that in this spirituality journey, and it is a phenomenal one. I've spent hours with her on the phone. She is now officially my sis, my girlfriend. So get ready to be moved and motivated as we dive into my remarkable guest's journey and the lessons she's learned along the way. Today, I am talking about no other than the gorgeous Nina Zapala. Nina, we welcome you to Mindset Mastery Moments. Come on up to the stage.
Hi.
Look at her. Can you see we're twinning? Welcome, Nina.
I'm like beyond grateful to be here. Your energy, we just vibe. I mean, I don't know. The first phone call, we were like, oh my God, I feel like I'm home. This is the great connection. And we just got into it. So this is going to be fun because we are so vibing together and I don't know. It's just a great energy between us. So I'm so appreciative to be here.
Oh my gosh. Talk about spirituality. I believe in soul tribe. I believe you have your family, you have people that you connect with, but then this soul tribe is just brings you get all of it in one, and you're definitely a soul sister of mine. So Nina, I've got to formally let them know a little bit more about you. So Nina Zapala is an award-winning travel professional, author, and the creator of spiritual personality typing, TM. She has that down packed to a science. With years of experience in the travel industry, Nina has now dedicated her life to helping people discover their authentic self by aligning their personality types with their spiritual beliefs. You see that combination, that trifecta. Despite facing significant personal challenges, Nina chose to see these moments as opportunities for profound personal change. She is in the studio with this gorgeous face of hers and brilliant light to share her inspiring journey, her unique concept of combining travel with self-discovery. Nina. You did the thing that when I saw your bio first and I saw your work and looked at your book, I was like, okay, she did the thing of the things: spirituality, personality type, and travel. Nina, we're going to delve into this today, but tell us in your own words who you are and what you do.
Yeah. I have gray hair, so it's a long story, but I'll make it short. I did everything you said is very true. I was in a travel career, doing luxury travel, and it was my dream job. I mean, I'm hobnobbing with, Michelin star chefs and, some celebrities and staying at $20,000 a night villas and just traveling all over. And it was lovely when it started. It's like that American dream. And then all of a sudden you look back and you're like, what happened here? Where's the dream? The dream kind of left me, right?
Yeah.
And I felt like I got so run over by my life. Like I ran myself over because I got so into the hustle and the bustle of just, trying to fit into and bring about the constant wanting and trying to do that for everybody else and totally ignoring myself.
Yeah.
So I kind of arrived at this journey through what I call my tsunami effect, that just I mean, my spirit just said, okay, girl, boom, you're getting, because I wasn't listening. I kept going, oh, no, I can deal with it. I'll just work more. I'll work harder. I just need another award. It's good. And I just thought more, 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 more. And actually, it was less, 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 less. Get into that stillness, flip that mindset around, right? The mindset of having to work hard to have, that's not the mindset, right? So you got to start flipping things around. And this whole thing of spiritual personality typing came about from going down deep and getting off to the hamster wheel, getting into reflection, reckoning, and rejuvenation, and really what is important, what do I want my impact to be, and how do I want to influence? And all of this kind of culminated, and thank God I was journaling the whole time. And what happened, my book came about because of that. Like I wrote everything down in the book. Because I didn't want to forget everything, right? Because I was going so much. So I said, I better write everything down. And so my book is kind of a sneak peek into how I started and what spiritual personality typing is. And it's a 101 precursor of my knowledge. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Awesome. So here's the thing. You mentioned something that I did get so curious about, as it's in your book as well. Can you take us back to your 7-year life tsunami, you call it?
Yeah.
And share with us how it became a turning point in your life.
Yeah. That's such an interesting question, because it kind of started, I was on stage in New York City and I was winning like it's called the Platinum Award, and it's only 3 people in the world get it a year. So I was just like, I was all puffed up. My ego was this big, right? I was like, yeah.
Right. Hey, you're the thing of the things.
Yeah. This is it. I've arrived, And funny enough, I was standing on stage and I started getting this weird feeling, and I heard this voice say, is this what you really want? And I immediately said no. Immediately, I said no. It wasn't a hesitation. I said no. Right. And as I stood there for a minute and I said, divine, please show me. And that's all I said. Right. And I stopped. I got the award, went about my business. And for a couple of years, I didn't really do anything with that. Like I made a decision. So the decision was already out there. It was already out there, like I call it, into the void of your consciousness. It was waiting for me to meet it. And I kept on saying, it'll be good. I'll work it all out. It got worse and worse until finally my life broke apart like a game of Jenga. Jenga, the blocks, you're building. You're like, I got it all together. I'm at the top of my game. And then poof, my whole life cracked, right? So that's when that tsunami hit my life. And it hit, but then it stopped until I really fully let it hit me enough that I stilled myself long enough to say, what the hell am I doing? What the heck do I want in my life? We got to get on board here. So what am I going to choose? And that's kind of how that all came out. So it was big because I'm stubborn. I'm an ENTP, so I'm stubborn as hell. So, and I don't listen. So, I wasn't listening.
You just mentioned ENTP. I'm an ENFJ.
Yes.
If I remember correctly.
Yes. I love your type. Yes.
And so I did that so many years ago, first time. I mean, I was unofficially introduced to it. And then I literally paid and did a whole deep dive. And I have a whole book on ENFJ. I didn't finish reading it. I'm ashamed of myself.
It's okay.
But it was a lot. And I go back to it when I need it. I never finished it, but I go back to it and read areas because that's how the book was set up for me. And people would be like, well, why are you mentioning that? Well, this is what I believe it's so super important. Yeah. And what Nina does is super important. And I believe it's the foundation for greatness. If you think that Elon Musk is Elon Musk just because he's really good at technology, you're wrong. Yeah, no, you're not. You're completely wrong. And trust me, I have the data to prove that you're wrong. Mm-hmm. If you think that Apple, Steve Jobs is just Steve Jobs, because you will not understand the level of how, the thing I always tell individuals, don't just name drop, study how they think.
Yes.
Study what they did. Because all of us want to be successful, right, Nina? And that's why this podcast says your mindset is the key to your success, because it's derivative of all that you speak, think, do, and ultimately become. But at the core of all that is where Nina is at. The foundation is, who am I?
Yeah. Yeah.
And when you think about who am I, she's also telling us, how do I demonstrate the who in the world? And that's your personality type, Nina. The question for you is, what truly motivated you to take those challenges from your tsunami and your understanding, learning into this personality typing? How did you take all of that, and why did you even do it to bring this transformation and empowerment tool called personality typing?
Yeah, really, really profound question. And you know what? It came about not only from me, but as I was going through my tsunami, I was still working, obviously, right? And I was running into women from all around the world. Like, these are high-powered CEOs, multipreneurs, digital extremely successful. It just, they had money. I mean, so I thought, I'll go to them and ask, right? Because I was falling apart. I thought, well, they'll know. They didn't know either. They didn't know. They're like, what?
Wow.
I'm like, oh my God. Okay, so we're having a crisis of identity here. And I don't want any more women to be walking around thinking they do know, because what they're doing is just borrowing a page from somebody else's playbook. And then you're living out that life. And then like, well, I'm not happy. It's like, well, no, you can't be happy if you're living from somebody else's playbook.
Not you.
Because you're letting them narrate.
You. Yeah.
You're letting them narrate your life. Right. And so you can't be happy that way. And so many of us, and we also do that too, because it's easier. It really is. Like, I did it. It's easier. I'm like, I'm just going to do that. I don't want to have to look at my ugly.
I like what Nina's doing. I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
You don't know why.
I don't want to look at my ugly. This is easier. And we do that, but you really have to. So what made me decide to really step in was because I was very happy, and I kept on seeing repetitive mistakes that were really taking me lower and lower and lower. Right. And I was like, okay, this is not a forward motion in my life. Do I want to live from this level of downward motion, or do I need to pull myself out and make the decision, really commit and make it my decision, my way, learn what I'm about, my beliefs, my values, what I want in life. Yes. And, to do that, you have to walk alone for a little while. And I don't even recommend it. We're coaches and we do our stuff. I don't even recommend that. I think the first thing, and I know people think it's counterintuitive, but I think you'll agree with me, to get your mindset, to get yourself set up, you have to know yourself first. Yes. So when somebody starts talking to you and offering you advice, you're going to go, okay, that resonates with me because these are my values and beliefs.
Right. Right.
Or otherwise, you're going to take that advice again, and it's going to be like, I'm just going to go that way because it's easier. I don't have to look at myself. And that's what a lot of us do.
Yes. And I absolutely agree with that, Nina. I believe there's work that has to be done. You and I talked a little bit off camera earlier about some of the entrepreneurs that you work with, and they go out and they had coaches already who has told them, you need a brand, you need a logo, you need a website. Yeah. And now they're like, but what do I put on these things?
Yeah.
What am I supposed? Well, that sounds like it's no different when you first go to kindergarten. You don't know how to read what's on the paper in front of you because you're young. You haven't learned how to read yet, right? Mm-hmm. So the reason that entrepreneur, as we spoke, is like they don't know who they truly are and how they are expressing their radiance in this thing called their life. So how the heck you going to have a website that means anything? And we talked about how some entrepreneurs do have a website, but it doesn't align with them and they're just not doing business. Just have one in the space. I know people who have podcasts, they only have 2 episodes.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Because people might see this podcast and see it in the top 100. I mean, just this week we're in top 100 in Germany, number 34. And I'm like, Germany?
Yay!
But they're probably like, well, your podcast does so well. What's the secret? I would tell you, I don't know. Right? I kind of do now, but here's the thing. Why I figured out the secret, I had to go back and look at my steps to see that there is a secret and understand. I started talking to other podcasters and realizing the way I thought this out and did it off of just being someone who wants to bring this gift and light to the world. People didn't think it out that way. They're just recording and posting.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not how that works. When I sat down before my podcast aired, I already had a podcast website. But before I had that website, I had clarity on what this podcast is about and who I want to listen and what I want them to walk away with. I wanted people to understand that their mindset, like I know everyone wants to be successful. There's no one who ever gets up like, I want to be a failure. Yeah. Everyone's like, whether you're cleaning, your house cleaning services, or you're a cleaner, or you're a travel agent, or you're a professor, we all want to win. We all want to be successful. We all want to have nice places to live, something clean to wear. We all do. So success is something, it's a universal language. It just means different things for different people. So your mindset is the key to that life that you want, that you desire. I really believe that. And that's my belief. And so I didn't know that people would resonate with that, but I didn't care because that's my message, right? And then I flushed that out. If you go to the website, I was clear about what we do, why we do it, and who you can expect. You're going to hear me talking to you, and I'm going to give you tools, steps, principles that I used in my life and I've learned over my journey. And then I'm going to bring my friends and thought leaders from around the world. Every now and then was the word, to bring theirs too. And you get to learn from us. This is free. Every episode is a masterclass in and of itself, right?
Absolutely.
But the clarity did not come from, I wonder what Nina's teaching. I wonder what Dr. Kareem is teaching. Oh, I wonder what Tony Robbins is doing. Oh, Ed Millett has a top 100. I didn't care those are the guys I compete with every week on the charts. Ed Millett, E.T. Thomas, you name all these big time thought leaders. I'm just a small timer. But my podcast is right here and there with them every week. It doesn't make sense to me. But what I've learned is the level of authenticity and clarity in who I am. People resonate and gravitate to that. Only one guest so far I've asked to be on this podcast. And I didn't have to. It's a given because of our relationship is Dr. Kareem Ellis. I've only asked him, but that's because that's my bestie, my boo thing. Like we just... two peas in a pod. So I just need to tell them when to get them. And my good girlfriend, Deb, same thing. Those are my friends. I have to tell them, you got to get on my schedule so you can be on the show. But even you, I found you because the podcast is out there doing what it does. So when you come on here and this morning I had Keisha, you all are saying all the things I've said in my solo podcast, just saying it even better. And people probably think she must go find her guests. No, I didn't have to. That's the other thing. Never have to. We have guests booked out all the way through August. And Nina, I know I'm taking a little bit of your light, but the question I'm going to ask you next is what will reinforce all the stuff I just said is why you do what you do, why it's so important and why I believe in it. First of all, no one comes on this podcast because they're cute or they're famous. They might be. Nina is so stinking cute and she's so freaking influential. But here's the thing. She's got a tool that I know you need. I know you need it, especially if you have plans to do anything in this world. You're going to need to understand your personality type, and you're going to understand that she teaches that inside your spirituality. Here's why. Everything I just said about the podcast, I didn't want to brag. This is the first time I've spoken about it in a podcast. I come here with nothing but gratitude, but I'm telling you guys the reason this podcast is here and you're listening to it is because I'm not going to say I'm 100% clear because I'm always in growth mode, but I have a lot of clarity about my personality, and I have a lot of clarity about my why, and I have a lot of clarity about my values and my beliefs, and that's the only place I work from. I get up and I don't have to get paid. So Nina. Jump in here and take this mic from me because it's on you now, sis.
No. But what you're doing is you're actually a living inspirational example of what I teach, because what you're doing is you're living and you're talking from your truth. So when you talk from your truth, that true self, that authentic you that comes up, and that's always led by that higher spirit mindset, that higher consciousness is led by that, right?
Yes.
And then your personality is that tool. It has all the beautiful traits that are yours.
Facilitates it.
It just is, it's the speakerphone. It's just the voice. So you come out with these very inspired messages, very true to you. And you are an ENFJ, and ENFJs are extremely persuasive.
Oh, we are? Without
Oh, yeah.
trying. Because I
Without
don't think I
trying.
am.
No, because people are drawn to you because you have this underlying current of harmony, and you also recognize, and this is why you attract so many people, you also recognize what needs developed in others, and you bring that out in them very naturally. That's part of your quest here. And so
Yes.
I call your personality type the harmonious type because you bring so
Ah,
much harmony to relationships. And that's why you're persuasive, because you're so harmonious and you get people, you're here for self-development. That's what
yeah.
I mean, your soul is
That's
here.
what I was sent here for. And
Yeah.
once I became clear about that,
Yeah.
I'm on stop. Do you know, I wasn't always clear about that.
Yeah.
I spent almost 30 years of my life doing that behind the scenes, but thinking I was created to push business. But believe it or not, but in my mind I thought about bringing harmony to, Fortune 500 leaders and their staff. So I guess I
Yeah.
kind of knew the whole time. And I'm always giving advice and bringing people together. As a kid, I'm the kid be like, you don't talk to her like that.
Yeah,
You don't
of
hit
course.
her.
Yeah.
You don't stop fighting. Come
That's
here.
important.
Say
That
you're
is
sorry.
huge.
Say
Yeah.
you're sorry. Teacher, she don't want to say she's sorry.
Yeah, that's so you, but that's you. I mean, you have this, it's a gift. It's really a gift. It's a
I didn't
beautiful gift.
understand, but no, people would want to beat me up because I'm technically beating them up so they could be nice.
Yeah.
Crazy
Yeah.
thing. But in my personal relationships, when I decided to step in the path of being a coach, speaker, trainer, my friends from high school wrote to me, inbox, comment on the stream when I got certified. And they're like, finally,
We always knew.
Yeah, we always knew. And finally, right? And
Yeah.
so I'm that person that says, and I struggled with it, right? Because here's the flip side, and Nina, you'll probably tell me ENFJ, and you guys, we talked about using me as an example. She can use me all day. The flip side to being an ENFJ and a harmonious person is, I would say, and you could shed light on this because you're the pro at this. I find that people don't realize how much work it is and how much you carry. And I didn't know how to balance it at one point because I was always in a situation where I'm either on a phone call or in person, quote unquote, putting out fires for people so they can get back in harmony with themselves or their spouse or their kids or their mom. And so I had to learn the discipline of my gift. And we'll talk about that later. But when it comes to the concept of personality type in TM, can you explain truly how it works and what makes it so unique?
Yeah. Well, it works obviously it works differently for everybody on the planet because everybody has, even though you're an ENFJ, I can put another ENFJ beside you and there'll be some similar threads, but based on your life experience, your upbringing, your country culture, all of those things impact. And what is the biggest impact is your soul imprint, because your soul imprint is unlike any other, not only just on the planet, in the universe.
Right.
So when you were talking about all these people, no, you don't compare yourself because you're getting this. You have this, because how can you compare somebody that's totally unique on the planet with somebody else? You can't. And then the cool thing is, once you understand that concept, you also look at other people as you do, as more harmonious partners that you gather in strength and number. You can't compete. There's no such thing as, because they're their own person.
Like
so they have their own gifts.
They're just now a puzzle piece.
Yeah. They have their own gifts. You have your own gifts. So each personality, even though they have threads of similarities, their life experiences are highly impactful. Their child upbringing, very influential. Their country culture. And unfortunately today, in today's day and age, social media can really do a number on you, because you go to Instagram or any site, it's all about competing. It really puts you back in, like, you need to compete. But no, you don't. You really don't.
Yeah.
And once you start getting the spiritual aspect interwoven into the logical aspect, you start understanding that you bring those two together, and your personality becomes like a sacred partner to your soul's mission, because your soul's just using those traits to
Mm,
express itself. It needs your specific traits to do its mission here on earth. So once you
right.
bring that together, you come into your true self. And that's what I call
Wow.
your true self. It's that partnership between the logic and the spiritual. And you always allow the spiritual to guide you, because the logic is more ego based. The spiritual is more divine based. So you
Wow.
always kind of want to lead with that. You have to, yes, you have to have your ego. You have to have logic. We're living on planet Earth. We're here. If we were all spiritual, we wouldn't be here. We'd be on some other planet. We'd be with the Palladians or whoever you want to talk about, right?
Right.
But yeah, so you have to have that. But the cool thing is your personality is very sacred to who you are. It's not a gift. It's not a meme. It's not something to make fun of, because anybody that makes fun of something like, oh, I hate extroverts. Well, you have extrovert in you. See? And once you start understanding that you're all pieces and parts of each other, that's where compassion comes in. That's where society really can start humming along.
Right.
And I'm building this for women, but I have men that come to me all the time like, oh my God, this, and this. And I love it because they're getting in touch with that too. And it's really important because the whole planet needs to come together, not just women, not just men, but
Right. We come together as one. So
Yeah.
Nina, using me as your muse today.
Right.
And I can't make this up, guys. Oh, it's bouncing back because I'm at page 143 out of 42. But here's my thing. I paid for this years ago.
Oh yes, I'm familiar with
Right.
that. Yep.
So I know it's different, but my point is I went and got all this. When using me as your muse, how is it beneficial for me in my life, career, business, and relationships to know that I'm an ENFJ, and how can I use that to my advantage?
Yeah. So the first thing is, I think it's like riding a bike. You can't ride your bike until all the pieces parts are together. So to me, the personality is all your pieces parts, all this logical pieces parts. Like you're a very feeling person. You have extroverted feeling in you. So, which is awesome. That's what makes you so harmonious. That's what makes you bring people together. Oprah is your type, and there's a couple other people that people that are
Mother Teresa.
Yeah, you can see people that are your type.
Yeah.
But knowing that is really good, but you have to know the other side of that too. The other side is that you're so feeling that if you don't set boundaries into place, people are going to crush you because they'll just take everything out of you. So they'll crush you.
Speak on it.
Yeah.
Speak on it. And that is the absolute truth. And now you're probably thinking, is she psychic? No, she's not.
No,
because this stuff is real. It's not woohoo stuff.
Yeah.
And a lot of people think, I don't have time for that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
No, this system that we have called Earth, humanity.
Yeah.
We're all created with vitamins. And Nina just said that we are unique. These typings, how do you describe it? Because you are saying I'm unique, but then I get grouped into ENFJ.
Right.
How can I understand that for someone who doesn't understand this?
Yeah.
How do they perceive it? How would you want them to perceive it if they're listening? So you're in a group, but you're still there's only one you.
Yeah.
How do they balance that? Because that's where people get confused. They feel like I'm telling you, oh, you and I are the same. That's not what you're saying. We have a baseline. You say it. I'll let you say it.
No, that's a really good question. And people do get confused by that because what I'm saying is your personality type is an indicator of your behavior. So if you have somebody else that's an ENFJ, they have same indicated behavior. So that's where your similarities are. And that's where they end because you pick up from your life experiences, which are different than theirs, from your childhood, which is different from theirs, your country culture, which may be different from theirs. Mm-hmm. Your relationships are different from theirs. Your business, everything that you do now in life is your experiences, and the experiences are where the wisdom comes, right? So even though you have all these traits, your traits are just helping you live the experiences. They work with you, all right? They just indicate, oh, she needs to be a feeling type because she has to have extrovert feeling to lead her mission. So, yeah. Right. So, but that's your mission, but somebody else can have a mission too, but it's going to be totally different from yours. It's going to be, it's because your mission has your imprint only on it. You have a gift, that divine spark that I talk about, that inner guide, that's where your gift lives. So if you don't ignite that and bring that soul up, that
Mhm.
soul mission up.
Mhm.
That's where the differences are. So there's indicators are the same. So the traits, what I'm talking about is your traits can be the same, but they're heavily impacted by you, your experiences, your upbringing, your beliefs, your values, all of that impacts. So
Right.
it's not one thing siloed into like an extrovert. That's not how it works. You're a tapestry of all these emotions, of all these experiences. And then there's this beautiful foundation of your soul mission that
Mm.
really gives you a uniqueness, right? But
Wow.
also, it's cool because your personality type too helps you fit and feel more into the collective oneness that we all are too. Because if
Mm.
we're all totally unique, if we were all that unique, we wouldn't understand each other. So there has to be a place of understanding, and that's where
Right. And
that's what
so for me, being an ENFJ, I would get quickly understand another ENFJ,
pretty much, yeah,
pretty much. And for you who understand the different archetypes,
you're right,
you would have an insight quickly. Like you knew when I said that, you're like, oh, I knew it.
yeah,
You're like, I knew it.
yeah, yeah,
Right. And that's
yeah.
it. That's the tool. And I say for me, people who I work with, all my staff, I had them do personality type in.
Mm-hmm.
Even though the company I worked for back then they didn't have it part of their program. Eventually they did, but I did it on my immediate staff. So I knew it helped me.
Yes, of
And
course.
it was so easy for me to see, oh, that's why she gets so upset when this is not happening.
Yeah.
That's why because people take frustration and anger as a bad thing. I'm that friend, and you're probably like, that's because you're an ENFJ. I'm that friend who you can get on the phone and you can go complete ham. And I would sit and listen to you and not feel disrespected.
Mm-hmm.
It's so hard. If you say you am blah, 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 I'll be like, all right, now you're going too far. Slow it down. You can't talk to me like that. I don't like it when you do that. But you might I'm so upset that you did, and you're going off, and I'm like, I'm just listening. Okay, I hear you're upset. Now, Can we talk about how I don't make you feel this way again? I am so sorry. And somebody might say, why do you let her talk to you like that? No, it's her journey. She is going to come to a place where she doesn't have to, when she's upset, express herself that way. You heard the words, express herself that way.
Yeah.
She's not meaning to hurt me.
Right.
It's her self-expression.
Yeah.
It's because she's on a journey that's going to bring her to where her self-expression is like, Nina, you see the crap you pulled today? I don't like it. Girl, I am so mad right now. I'm livid that you did that. Yeah. I'm a little bit more evolved in my self-expression, but still have room to grow where next time it wouldn't even bother me. It'll just be like, Nina, can you fix this? That's the goal,
Yeah,
and not feel begrudged or whatever at all. But my friend who's still growing up in her spiritual journey in that area has the space in her part to express complete frustration with all the expletives she feels like. And then I listen and reflect and say, okay, Nina, I hear you're very upset, but is your thought process where you think this person is beneath you? Did I hear that you didn't expect them to do it right anyway? And did I hear that a self-fulfilling prophecy exists that you didn't expect them, but you tied business with them anyway?
Yeah.
Then you probably should, you know what I'm saying? And now I'm able, because I let you express. Yeah. And I'm able to reflect and help you get on track with your own thoughts and feelings and realize how it's bringing you the results you don't want.
Yeah. And your type 2 is very, it closes the door on confrontation, because you think about it, you're showing up in the world for harmony. So you're like, no conflict, which is good and bad. You have to have a little bit of conflict, but like
I've learned. Yeah.
Well, that's what I was going to say. But you've evolved yourself enough to know
spirituality, though, right?
this is the spirituality part.
That's where I was heading. Exactly.
Yeah, this is the cool part. This is the spirituality. You're evolving yourself enough to know that this conflict, even if
necessary.
you do get, it's necessary. Even if you do get mildly upset, that's okay, because you're going to take this experience, like you just said, you're going to learn and grow from it. And then you're going to step back and say, okay, we need to do this differently because this isn't working for me. And obviously it doesn't seem like it's working for you. Let's look at this different. And so now you're gaining wisdom from this situation. And that's where the spirituality plays, because you're observing, and observing is like one of the best spiritual practices you can do, because you're stepping.
Oh my gosh, I'm so wanting to be greater and greater at that. Observing.
Yeah. It's a tough one to do because you really have to step back. Yeah. But you're on the path already.
Yeah.
You're already there.
Yeah. And so many people, I have people who admire it and people who condemn it. I'm fine with it, because again, it comes back
they're
to
on their journey.
Exactly.
They're on their journey. It's like,
and I'm an authentic self, because some people were like, well, why didn't you let the house get sold when you divorced your husband?
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say it on the podcast, but he needed to be there. There's reasons.
Yeah.
And my job is not to destroy anything or anyone.
Yeah, that's so you. Yeah.
If I'm a builder, why am I breaking? Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now,
absolutely.
as you said, the balance is, would you do that? Why are you doing that at risk for yourself? Well, here's the thing. Property might mean this much to someone else, but in my spiritual evolution, I know for sure, people say you don't take any of it to the grave with you. And I'm like, saying it and understanding it.
Yeah.
Two different things.
Yeah, exactly.
I have come to the understandment, which that word doesn't exist, but we use it because we made it up. The understandment that, which I'm creating it like it's a process, that I really don't. I've faced so much loss in my journey, life and lessons, but it brought my spiritual awareness to, in a blink of an eye, it's all gone. And I have that level of conscious awareness of it in everything I do. So while I'm the person who would give you one of two of my brand name, $300 bags, $400 bags, be like, friend, you don't have one of those. Oh, let me give you one.
Yeah.
And like, you just give me one of your two. You only have two, Alisa. It's not like you have a collection. Well, I only need one.
Yeah, that's so you. That's
where I'm going.
Yeah.
And you don't have any, so you get it. And I don't think I'm a superhero. I just think that's who I am.
Yeah, it is who you are.
And I'm not mad at Nina, because Nina's like, I got my 10 bags and nobody's touching it. I'm like, Nina, can I have one of your bags? She's like, no. I'm like, all right, I thought I'd try.
I thought I'd ask.
Right? And I'm not mad at her. And when she had no bags, I gave her my bag. And one of two, and now she got 10, and she wouldn't even let me use one of hers.
Yeah.
No. Because you don't understand. Me giving you my bag is part of my spiritual evolution. It's
exactly.
Part of me being blessed in my journey.
Yeah.
But I have that understanding. I understand that maybe that's not how you're going to be blessed. You might get blessed by going out making hot dogs for homeless people every Saturday.
Yeah, exactly. It's all different. Yeah.
It's so different. That's why when you say it's unique. So tell us before we go to break. Oh, this is so good. Because we kind of hit on it, and I don't want to leave us undone. We understand the personality typing, and you've added spirituality to it. What does that look like when they work together?
Oh my gosh, it's so dynamic, because this is the cool thing is, if most of us, and I think we talked about this on the call before we got on this part of the call, most of us want to have success in our life. We want betterment. We want purpose in life. We want meaning, right? So if you're just living your life siloed just from the logical self, it doesn't bring you into your beingness of your whole self. And that whole self, that other side of yourself, that spiritual self that's connected to divine intelligence, the inexhaustible, all that there is, health, wealth, whatever, joy, happiness, all the goodness in life, you get to tap into that. So if you live your life just from this logical aspect, you've just blocked out all of these rich, deep goodnesses of divine intelligence. You're missing this whole tapestry to your world. So you can understand personality typing, which is great. But if you don't, weave in and make the spiritual mind your go-to and allow it to inform you and lead your life, you're missing out. You're missing out on the best things in life.
Right. And what
Yeah.
what would the spiritual part of this of the typing that you've created, what would that contain? What would that be? What is a reference point for that?
I think, and in the book too, everyone has a different modality of getting there because the personalities are different. So what I did is like, I took specific types, like your type, you have to be out and being with people are your muse, right?
Mhm.
And so for you, you can become exhausted. So, but you still like doing, you like the doingness of it.
Yeah,
So
but
for
I also
you,
like to be away from it.
yeah, well, so, but you
I
can
need
like,
to.
so
I have to. I kind of
yeah,
have.
you have to, or you burn yourself up. But for you, the spirituality could just be dance, knowing and journaling.
Yeah.
Like you could have, so spirituality is not some, let's pull out the crystals and the mat and the yoga. It's not that. It could be that, but for
Right.
you, it has to suit your personality type. And for you, your
Right.
person, you like busy. So you can do dance. It could be just dance just for you, just for you.
Yeah.
No one else.
No
Or
one
it
else.
could be
And I
writing.
do. And it's funny you said that because that's what I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
When I
That makes
really
so much
need a
sense for you.
breakout, a breakthrough, and a breakaway, because I say break out,
Yeah.
breakthrough,
Yeah.
breakaway.
Yeah.
You
Oh, yeah.
can find me, and people post this all the time, and I thought it was because I was Libra, zodiac. They post it, if you never see, they say Libra is walking around like this, and then Libra's at home.
I love it. Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm doing that, but no one really knows now. The whole world knows. Oh gosh, I tell my secrets on this podcast.
No, it's okay.
But I am breaking through something
Yeah.
that kept me stuck all week. I'm breaking out from that train of thought that, oh my gosh, I really sucked this week. It was awful. I didn't accomplish my things. I lost this fight. I lost this bid. I lost this thing. I didn't, let it go.
Yeah.
Because I can't bring that energy with me.
Right.
So
No.
I have to release it. It's in my body. It's in
Yeah.
my body. We don't
Yeah.
understand emotions get trapped.
Yes, absolutely.
Our energy is energy in motion, emotions, right? And
Agreed.
so it's with emotions, your best bet is to release. That's why my friends can yell, cuss, scream. My staff could come into my office, shut the door, and use explicits and go off, and me not be in judgment. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry you're feeling. I'm sorry it's going through. What happened? Now after the and I didn't understand any of that. Now
Yeah.
to release that emotion, because that's
Yeah.
all it is. It's not
Yeah.
the real you, friend. It's the
Right.
feeling.
Yeah.
It's like hunger. I say hunger now I revere as an emotion and a signal that my body thinks it needs to eat. However, my higher self, no, it doesn't. It just ate 3 hours ago.
I love it.
My higher self is like,
Yeah.
you might be thirsty because this is good for you. Water. It's good for you. So here we go. Right. And it's like, oh, yeah, I'm not really hungry after all. And it leaves me alone for another 3 hours. So I can eat more and feast and famine. But that spirituality is what I'm understanding from you, Nina, is your connection. And y'all know I say it on the podcast with God. I love divine intelligence.
Yeah.
It's like we can just call God all kinds of things. And
Exactly.
it's it's to who it may concern.
Yeah.
But it must, what you're saying, that person understanding your personality, your sort of blueprint and your default, which I'm now referring to as your vehicle that carries you and expresses your soul, is your personality.
Yeah. Yep.
Now you're bringing that with your connection to God, the all-knowing, all-being creator, and you're bringing it together. You have this thing, before we go to commercial again, that you say that we are not just a body, we are, because that's so important. I told you I wouldn't forget. You have a thing that we are not just a body, we're not just a soul, we are. The way you term it, please tell us before we go to break.
Well, I believe that we're a spiritual being having a human experience.
Yes.
And so when we put these two together, this makes more sense to people. We take the natural, which is the personality type, because it's natural, right?
Yeah.
and layer it with the super, and then you get the supernatural. So that's how you, so that's how you start showing up. You start showing up from the supernatural space that you were always intended to show up from.
Yes.
So
yes. And this is the thing that helps us overcome loss, abuse, divorce, miscarriages, cancer.
All of it.
This is the thing. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back for a word from our sponsors as we dig more into this personality typing with Nina Zapala. Hey, disruptors, we are back with the gorgeous and brilliant Nina Zapala. Oh, this conversation's getting good. I had to get my fan on and get me a glass of water because y'all know I get excited about this stuff. So Nina, flipping the script back over to you. How have you applied the principles of self-discovery and empowerment in your approach to travel and personal growth? That part is where we're like, how did you do that?
Yeah. Well, it started, and I do have a background in travel, so I think it comes to me a little bit more natural. But once you start getting into this, your spiritual personality type and knowing yourself, travel, I think for me, was the best time to begin this journey because it just releases you from your routine. Yeah. It releases you from everyone's expectations. And what's really cool about travel is this is the only time I think for most people that they get really excited about stepping into the unknown. So it's a funny time. You're like, I'm going to go somewhere. You don't know where you're going. You're getting on a plane. You're getting off a plane. You're staying somewhere.
Right.
And that's it. That's what you know, right? So it's a lot of unknowns. But when you travel, you're facing all these unknowns with an excitement. Like I can't wait. But in your daily life, if you say the unknown, like I have to take a detour, most people are like, what? We may have to take a detour. I'm going to be late for work. And it just turns into this big thing. And so travel gives you the space. Yeah. It's a very gracious time to travel. And my book is a lot about traveling with intention instead of just only consumption. So I do want you to
What does that mean?
Well, and in the industry, I was a perpetuator of this, which is I'm not happy about, but it was what it was. I didn't know any better, right?
Yeah, so you weren't there on your spiritual journey yet.
No, I wasn't there yet. But it's like shop till you drop, 24 hours in. What you're doing is you're just doing a very consumptive driven vacation. And that's just getting you back on the hamster wheel of life. How are you slowing down? Like, how are you sitting? Go sit on a park bench and watch the world go by. Observe yourself.
Help people watching. I love it.
Yeah. And and I talk about two things you can do in the book. One is called the art of flaneuring, and that's a French word, and I probably bastardized the hell out of it. So please excuse me if I did. All the Frenchy files that are on here. But it's just the art of observing. You stroll, and you don't stroll with the intention to engage. You just stroll and observe. Yeah. So you could come across, let's say you come across a flower shop and something just really, you're like, so pretty. You don't gauge, you don't buy, but then you sit back and you think, why did that stir me so deeply? Maybe it's because you need more color in your life. Maybe you need fresh flowers on your desk, right? Maybe you need more creativity in your life. I don't know. There's so many messages and only you can know that, right? Mm-hmm. So the art of flaneuring is the art of observing. And I highly recommend you take a little pocket journal with you and write these things down. You don't have to solve anything. You're on vacation. Don't solve. Just relax.
Just notice.
Just notice and witness. And then when you get home, think about it. Yeah. Start learning about yourself. And that's a great way. Those are fun ways to learning about yourself. And then the other side that I do, and that's a lot for cityscapes. Flaneuring is great in cityscapes, but forest bathing is for my introvert friends who just want to go and hike and just get lost and just be with one.
I get nervous with the hiking thing, like
yeah. Well, you need people around you, so you can go with people.
I'm good with people.
Good with people.
But everything you just said, and I think why I love travel so much. And guys, listen, it's always nice to get an airplane or boat, but how many of us live in cities and we have not gone to neighboring cities?
I agree with you.
Like, I didn't know this was here. Oh my gosh. And I'm like, it's right just 2 miles down the road.
Right.
you can get in your car, go there, and then get out and walk around those neighboring cities and do exactly what Nina just said. If they're city or just mountains or whatever. My question for you, Nina. So when you couple those three together, what are you looking at as a being in your evolution?
Okay, say that again, because I think I'm
when
missing.
You bring all three of those, you're bringing your personality type, spirituality, travel. What kind of evolution can I expect from following the blueprint you've created and personality type in?
Well, I think first, travel gives you the courage to kind of step into the unknown in your life. Like start looking at yourself, start asking the questions. What's exciting you? What is, and that's in your daily life. So then that starts taking you into your personality type too. It's like, oh, well, my personality type is this, this, and this. This is definitely saying this about me. So that's interesting. And I haven't really gotten into that. So how can I explore that with what I just experienced? And then how can I take that into my spiritual practice and get still and start writing about it and let my higher consciousness flow into me what it wants me to learn about those situations. What does it want to bring me? So then I can just go ahead and circle back out, take it back out into my personality type, and then maybe even take a different travel journey that's going to evoke more of that so I can deepen that experience and take that experience to another level.
Is that why she did Eat, Pray, Love?
Yeah, I know. And everyone's like, Nina, you kind of did Eat, Pray, Love. I'm like, yeah, mine's more psychology.
It's definitely, it's not the same, but I'm thinking, maybe the psychology behind what the movie was trying to connect us to is that they call it Eat, Pray, Love, but that was her way. Again, this is why I love your way of doing this, your work. Yeah. You don't necessarily pin anyone down into a box of what it should look like.
I hate that.
It's a blueprint.
It's not me.
And people, this is what I talk to my students and clients about being coachable. And a lot of people, and Dr. Prima and I are going to do an episode about mentorship. A lot of people don't know how to be coached and how to be mentored. Because what we do is we identify, you and I don't know if we talked about it in the podcast, we talked about this backstage, but we talk about looking at someone's journey and just wanting to emulate that. Or it's like, okay, so Nina's a really successful speaker, coach, author. I want to be one. Let me just go learn. Let me pay her $10,000, learn from her, and try to do everything she did the way she did. No, that's not learning. That's not mentorship. That's not growth. So anyone who's learned doing it that way or getting it done to them that way, you're not going to succeed ultimately. This thing will collapse. Here's why. A teacher and a coach and a mentor should be giving you a blueprint that you are now able to apply to your process in your life. And this is why you need personality typing. Yeah. This is why you need to understand how to include your spirituality, because whether you have one or not, you have one. Yeah. There's no way you can be a spiritual being in a body without spirituality. Yeah. You probably have not connected to how you want to experience your spiritual being yet, or you haven't been in a practice of routines and things, and that grow. I tell people all the time, I was born and raised, quote unquote, maybe Pentecostal, but I don't know. I was Wesleyan, and then, I became non-denominational, and now I'm just a child of the Most High God. And I love, and God is at the center of everything I do. I did not throw out my Bible. It's still the most influential book on my values and my belief system. However, I've evolved to the place where I can listen to a Muslim speak about the Quran the way I speak about the Bible, learn from them, grow from that conversation, and love them.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can listen to a Buddhist. Yeah. And let me tell you, foolishly enough, I've listened to an atheist, and that's their spirituality.
Yeah, it is.
Why is it when I ask you, are you a Christian? You said, no, I'm an atheist. Then that's your spiritual practice. Yeah. So absolutely, whatever that looks like for you, again, I am not proposing one to be better than the other. I love the word different. Duh. Nina already said we're all very individual and unique. Yeah. So when you take all this, you're telling us a blueprint that's so important for us to grow and go where we want to go.
Yeah. And sometimes spirituality for some people, and I know this, and I hope this doesn't sound like a derogatory thing, but for some people, it could just be the act of pottery. And they're so into nature and forming that clay and feeling so blessed that they can
Yes.
create something
Yes.
beautiful for somebody else. That's their spirituality.
Yeah.
And they're bringing something just as beautiful to the world as you and I are. It's
That's
just
right.
in a different format. It could be a
Exactly.
painting. It could be fashion. It's just how you're expressing that spiritual tool through the world. And if you do it with love, and if you do it with compassion, and you do it with servitude and meaning,
The
it's going
same
to
effect.
echo.
No
Yeah,
different
it's
than the
effect.
guy standing behind the pulpit every Sunday.
Yep, absolutely.
And so I
Absolutely.
tell people, I get on the podcast, and when I sit here, I'm having such a rich spiritual experience as I am
Yeah.
right now. And that's become a big part of my own growth journey because I learn from my guest. And I, as often as I can, put myself in the audience's shoes, and I try to ask the best questions I could. And that's why we have our guest here on, we have their info in the bio, because you might have questions that I didn't ask, and that's where you connect with them. Everybody who comes in here has a booking calendar. Everybody who comes in here has a website. So there's no reason not to go further with Nina if you need to. And I
Thank
mean,
you. Yeah. Yeah.
but here's the thing. Question. As we close out this episode, what practical strategies can you share for nurturing our self-awareness and empowerment in everyday life? Because it's one thing to understand that you need this, but
Right.
understanding the application in every day. Because some people get overwhelmed. Well, I got to know my personality type. No. It's a day by day, and it's a journey. How do you say we
Absolutely.
can nurture that self-awareness and empowerment in our everyday
Yeah,
life?
absolutely. And it's small steps. And I'm going to take you back to where I started on the stage in New York City. And my prayer was, show me. That's all you need to do. It could be that simple. You get up in the morning and you sit down before all the day starts, before all the crazy starts, before you don't check your email, don't do any of that. You just get up in the morning, you go to a quiet place, you might have a glass of water. I don't even say coffee, just have a glass of water, whatever it is. And you sit down and you go within and you say, show me. Show me what this day is for. Show me my next steps. Help me find the answer to this question, whatever, one thing. Then you get your journal out and just and it's soul writing, right? You just let your pen and paper. And I'm a big advocate of pen and paper because that's your energy going to your energy, and you're not going through a computer. But if you want to use your computer, I don't care how you do it, just do it.
You're done.
because you're going to get an answer of some sort. It might not come
Yeah.
right this second. It'll come. You'll be at the grocery store like, oh, there's the answer. I have it. It just pops in. So that's just a very practical way to do that. And if you Google personality typing, a million things come up. I just want you to be very, very aware that the personality typing from the 1940s is a more patriarchal paradigm. It's more institutionalized. So if you're on a spiritual journey, be aware of that, and don't put yourself into a GIF or a box that says you are this, this, and this, because we just heard on here, you're not that. You're this, but with all these experiences layered into you, you could never even fit in a box. You're such a big, beautiful, bright star. There's no way you can fit in a box. So please don't put yourself in a box. That's my only warning when you go online, because it's, everyone, and I'm not perfect. I'm not saying my way is the right way. I'm just giving you a heads up
that it can become that way.
It can, and don't get lost into that trap.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for clarifying that. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors with Flip the Script with Nina Zapala. 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We are back with a special edition of the Flip the Script segment with Nina Zapala. She is going to help me flip my script live here for you all to see. I am a little bit nervous, but authenticity is my bread and butter. I'm always striving to be. So wherever this goes, you guys get the deets. You heard it here first. Nina, I wanted to play a game with you in reality. If I came to you as a client and I was trying to figure out my personality type, which we kind of already know what that is, where would you take me sort of and guide me a little bit on ENFJ?
It, fabulous question, because I get this a lot, because I have had people, I had a lady that thought she was an INFP her whole life, and she was really an INFJ. So she had believed this, right? So the to answer your question is, a lot of people come to me mistyped or don't know their type. And so I don't have a script per se, because I work with you it's a highly individualized thing. Because remember, I said your personality type is this, but all your experiences are here and they're all layered into that. And then we're going to look at your soul mission. So I take you through a very highly personalized questionnaire. Then we jump into it, because we'll talk about personality typing, but then we're going to flip over to, these are soul purpose paths I'm seeing for you, because I'm a little bit intuitive too. When I start working with people, my intuition and my little bit of my channeling things come in, because I'm getting that, because it's part of this, and then we look at your life and your experiences. So it kind of works that way. But if you want to play a little game with the book,
I would love that.
We can do that.
Before we do that, though, question, I did that so many years ago. And through another source, another company or whatever. My question, do people change personality types over time? Can we, or is not really?
No. But what happens is we don't know where we're coming from. So our personality type is kind of muddied. And so people go, oh, my personality type has changed. No, you've evolved. That's what's happened. That's coming. It's your personality type you've gotten so much more clarity on it. You understand it differently from what it was, because it was so muddied. You didn't have the clarity on it.
Right.
And once you get clarity on something, you're like, oh, now I get it. Right.
Now you get it. Exactly.
Yeah, now I get it. Yeah. So then that's what happens, because people are like, well, I'm a different personality type. I'm like, no, your brain would kind of like be an overload, because you can't, it doesn't function like that.
Take all that. You're not ready.
Yeah, you'd be cray. It'd be a little bit like, it wouldn't work like that. So you can't do that. But that's why, though, because you don't understand yourself. And then you reach that clarity and you're like, oh, I'm this. And it's going to keep on changing as you progress. Things are going to get, because you know what you're doing. You're feeding, the way I look at personality typings, you're feeding it with that spiritual knowledge too. So it gets wiser and wiser and more expansive. And so those little traits that you thought were like this become these big, beautiful traits that know no limit now, because they're connected to all there is. So even your traits, like feeling traits, you know how deep and wide your feelings can be? We're thinking they're here. Yeah. Can you imagine the expansiveness when you start getting there from a personality, a spiritual personality? They grow. So it becomes this beautiful, deep, rich tapestry. So you're always going to be growing. Right. And the spirituality part of it lets you evolve even deeper into this, instead of just saying, okay, I've done this. I understand this is a feeling trait. I can stop here. No, it never stops, because you're always growing and changing.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's the logical side. And then there's the spiritual side. So that always keeps you evolving.
Exactly. I love it. So go ahead and let me be the one who get my flipped script. My script flipped today. I'm in the hot seat. Usually you are, but now I am, and I love it. Okay.
This is just kind of like the first, and you can see right away where I write in the book, you're like, oh yeah, this is not like a typical personality type, because I said, harmonious travels may get little or to no sleep while away. You're off on one grand adventure after another. Who has time to sleep? A socially conscious savant, your personality type blends unconventional thinking with harmonious and bold actions. People are vital to your expeditions, which may have you booking a give-back getaway, a visit to Mexico to experience the friendly people, fabulous food, art, and music. Or you're just as happy with a regional road trip. That's how I start your chapter. So a little different.
Spot on. It's spot on.
Is it?
It's spot on.
Yeah. It's a little different from, when you read other,
but I love that though, because you did not overwhelm us with the psychology. I just told you, and I'm a big nerd. I love psychology. So this book is fine for me, but it just goes into so much. Most humans will not read this. This is why we're going to put the link to Nina's book. It's available on Amazon as well. It's not like a whole, it's all the psychology simplified.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and that's my personality type. I'm very unconventional, and I see opportunities, possibilities, and patterning, and I take them all together, and I
And
take
you
very
can,
complex things and simplify them. That's what
right,
that's what I'm really good at. I can take
right.
very complex things in my big overthinking brain
And simplify it.
and simplify it. I mean,
Yeah.
and that's what I like to do.
Yeah.
And then it just goes in unpack your personality. And this is interesting because I wanted to take you. This is so because we talked about this. I just wanted to touch on this. It says, pack spiritual insights for personal growth. Harmonious travelers on a journey of self-discovery will need to see disagreements and discord as signs of differences between one another instead of an affront to your values and beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
Disharmony is part of life. See difficulties as opportunities for self-discovery and to become
Mm-hmm.
more aware of your true self and what truly matters to you. And
Yes.
please find ways to inspire yourself. Put yourself first and don't worry so much about others. They'll be just fine.
And that is 40-year-old Alisa. That was the life lesson, because I think
Yeah.
as a child, as a teenager, as an adult, I let disharmony cause me to be depressed,
Yeah.
severely depressed. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I can't make this up, because, my parent, my dad, and our relationship with my parents, what I don't talk a lot about, but there was some abuse there and things from my dad, not sexual, but he was physically abusive. So that was disharmony.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
could you imagine me wanting to fix everything and be everything? And then to add to my personality type, I'm a Libra, which I have some reverence and understanding, and I include zodiac signs and a little bit of astrology in my spiritual practice, my growth journey. And so I did not understand how to set those boundaries that you spoke about, not to worry about everybody. And I think what happened right when I went through my separation and divorce and my healing, like deep inner healing, because I was not just healing from the marriage. A lot of people don't understand these pivotal moments like divorce catapults you to do work that you bypassed either on purpose or by just not knowing.
Yeah.
Your
It's
journey. So you end up healing so many layers of yourself.
Yeah.
And healing is a process. That's why when they say before you get in a relationship, you should sit down and heal.
Yes.
I think you should sit down and pivot and become aware of yourself the best you can. But if you try to sit and heal to be ready for a mate, honey child, go ahead and call it. You're never going to be.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. It's healing is a journey, and you don't know what's broken until I say it's like a boo-boo, you hit your knee and you didn't realize, or you have a you scrape and you think it's healed, but then you just hit it and you realize, ow, that hurts. That's that spot.
Yes.
Like, why doesn't that feel better? It's been 16 weeks. Well, because there's deeper healing that needed. You should have been icing that boo-boo and you didn't. So it didn't heal properly. And you might end up having to go to a doctor because there's an injury that now there's a bone fracture, but you didn't take care of it. You didn't go get it looked at. So here you are now 16 weeks later, supposedly healed, but because you hit it, now you know it hurts.
Yeah.
When you get into that relationship, now you know it hurts. So you want to bring people, I say, choose people who are good for your nervous system and your healing journey.
Yep.
And understand that when you choose them, you're always going to like them. They're going to, some of them are going to irritate you. Some of them are going to be kind to you. Some of them are going to bring it all out of you. Some of them are going to actually hurt you again, whatever that looks like. But in my journey, that was the thing. What you just give that advice as an ENFJ is stop worrying about it. So I'm that type of person to be like, yeah, the whole world's falling apart.
Yeah. Well, and this is funny about you too.
And I'm like, not a damn thing I could do about it. So where's the next drink? And I'm not drinking, but I'm laid back. Everybody's like, why are you laid back? Yes, I am, because I've done everything I possibly can.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And now I just leave it to God and the other people that are in charge.
And as a little child too, I've noticed this about your personality type. And this is where some similarities are, just because it's an indicator within your trait, this harmonious thing. You oftentimes are a bridge in the family, even to the adults. The adults rely on you to be an adult.
Exhausting as ever.
I know. And it's hard. And especially when you're a child, because
And people don't
I just
realize
want
that.
everybody to be happy. And
Yeah.
you're little and you don't realize the implications of your parents, these adults, expecting you to have this behavior at this age. And you do, because you're smart. You have an intellectual ability too. You're an intellectual.
And also intuitive as well. Like I know things that I'm not supposed to know.
Yeah, exactly. But see, but people come to you for that, and then they burden you with that as a little child, and even as an adult, they do.
As a child, yeah. And people they did not realize it, and so
they don't.
This, as an adult now, you have a therapist saying, "Oh, and yeah, that was too much for a child." And I listen to people who are harmonious types. They don't know it, but I do. Sort of blaming a lot. And they're adults now. And I'm like, I get it. And I can tell someone, they're still figuring some stuff out. Trust me.
Yeah.
They're going to do this blame game thing. But after a while, they're going to realize it doesn't work. Yeah. Because now as an adult, you have to release that those people did not know. Adults did not know. And people don't know why they're attracted to your light. They just are. And you, in your journey, a lot of it, you don't know why people are attracted to you like. But what I realized as I began to become an adult, I was about 31, 32 when I realized this ish is exhausting. But what happened, I learned God was so good to me, I would say, or maybe I was just so open to fixing it, that God revealed to me that they're going to do that. It's because of who you are. It's because of what you are as well. They're going to do that. Your job is to set those boundaries that you read about.
Yes.
Your job is to understand that you're not to be God for them.
Yeah, exactly.
Talk about a God complex, a harmonious person. I am clear to say we have a God. At default, the ego will manipulate the gift that we are to the world into a God complex, to where we think that nothing can happen without us. No one is good without us. So we have to, and we do the martyrdom dance.
Yes, absolutely. Very good. Yes.
I'm speaking to what you said from my self-awareness.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
very much
who told me that I was supposed to be God in anyone's life?
Yeah.
Now when I was a child, I didn't know. Now as an adult, I have accountability for how I act and what I do. Yeah. So people, and it's hard for people to figure out now in my adult life, I realize how I affect people because I'm harmonious, I'm supportive, I'm loving. And then I'll be like, but honey, this is where you have to go on this part of your journey, your own.
Yes, absolutely.
And trust me, being who I am as a harmonious type, I am grieving. It is hurting me to tell you got to go alone and leave.
You're like, don't let go. Yeah.
You would think everyone in my life is an infant that's just now taking their first step, because that's where my heart is. But I've had to learn to detach over time and say, they won't be as good if you did it with them or for them.
Yeah, they can't.
And my best bet for them to be great is to let them. And then I had to work on being okay with letting go.
Yeah, that's a big one. And you said something here that's very interesting about, because I believe, I said, like, we're spiritual beings having a human experience. So if you're a spiritual being, that's where your energy comes from. So when you say, people are attracted to you because, yes, but it's your energy. They love the harmony. They know that you can help them in some way. They have no clue.
No idea how.
But they're like, ooh, I like her. I can do that. And I get that too with my personality.
And there's people who don't like me, but can't stay away from me.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. It's the weirdest thing ever since I was a child. But as I grew older, I understand that the being that I was entrusted to carry in this physical 3D version of me.
Yeah.
They want to be around you. But they don't really like you is what they think. Yeah. And I'm like, they need me too, because this light has to do something for them, and they're going to be here. Maybe they'll take off, and maybe they'll just become this. Oh my God, why are you so nice? Why are you so nice to me when I'm mean to you?
I can explain that to you.
Okay.
But seriously, this is what that is like you're holding a mirror for who they want to become.
Mm.
So they don't like you because they don't know how to get there. And they're like, I am like, what? And they get all frustrated with you because you are already there. They want to become that. So you're just holding up this mirror and say, this is me. And they're like, I want that. I want to be kind. I want to learn how to be kinder. I want to learn how to be more harmonious. I want to learn to be supportive. And it's not in your way, but they want all of that energy for them. And you're so easily demonstrating it from such a natural space that they're intimidated. They can be jealous and frustrated. And so it's not you, it's them. They're in a learning journey. So accept it and just keep on letting your light shine, because they're gonna have a breakthrough being around you.
That's where I'm at. I mean,
yeah. And I love that.
That whole please. So I'm just gonna paste a chapter on my type somewhere in my bathroom to remind myself that someone understood my personality.
Yeah.
You explained that so well. Anything else you got for me to challenge me with? Because I might have a spot I need to grow on.
Oh, let me see if there's any kind of into the wilds. If I just did some really cool. So here are some of your travel. Here can be some of your triggers and see if any of these relate. These are travel triggers. So when I talk about travel triggers, I talk about things that might you're like, no, or you get triggered. Like I've had a total throwing a suitcase. I'm an ENTP, so I'm dramatic. With my ex, but that was a whole nother story. But it's just like, no, you're not going to tell me what to do, because I'm highly independent. I value my freedom. Yes. I'm going to go and do what I want to do. You can't tell me who to be. So that was the suitcase throwing on the bed scene. Right. But so triggers are these things that either somebody triggers you or you get triggered by something in your surroundings. So here I have tend to be critical, and you kind of talked about this, of travel plans or trip ideas that do not align with your own. Be mindful of this and work to compromise or take solo trips to ensure happier outcomes. TripAdvisor and other travel review websites can be great outlets to share your perspectives and injustices, giving your travel mates a little bit of reprieve, because you like to, since you are harmonious, you'll see injustice and you're like, huh, and it'll just come out because you're seeing it and it is frying you up inside and you're going to say something. Sometimes everybody doesn't want to hear all that because they have to
mind my business.
Well, no, because it overwhelms them, because you are speaking your truth.
Yes.
They can't, the whole thing, they can't handle the truth.
They're not ready for it yet.
Yeah, exactly. And so there's a two-way street on this. You can be sensitive to conflict with a tendency to sweep things under the rug as an avoidance tactic. This can be frustrating for others who want to talk it through. Yep, your pilot, Effie, is taking things personally and trying to avoid conflict. So we kind of talked about that.
But now I'm the person who wants to talk about everything, because that was my growth journey. Yeah. And it's like
beautiful.
And I want to talk about it but I definitely was that non-confrontational as a child. So my dad said it early, and we got him on tape saying, he's like, she would never, Alisa gets nothing because she doesn't ask for what she wants. And my sister's like, Daddy, can I have this? I'm going to be like, Daddy, how are you? Daddy, why do you put that screw in that hole? Why? I was just asking him random stuff, buttering up a conversation, because I don't know how to come out and say what I want.
Yeah.
And I probably would never get to it. And then I do, and he's easy. He's like, she's an easy no. He said she's an easy no because she never gets to the point. And I have that in my head as a learning. And I've always what did that mean? And why did it bother me as a child? And so I learned that it's because I don't want to impose myself. I want to be self-sufficient, but I don't want to impose. And so real life doesn't have that. It's like, Nina, I would love if you can stop knocking on the wall.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm going to say, somebody said, Nina, stop knocking on the wall. I might say differently. My harmonious nature still exists.
Yes.
But absolutely. I'm going to ask for what I want.
Mm-hmm.
And there are times I will take what I want. But that I had to grow in me.
Yeah.
And to tell someone they hurt me, oh my God, don't ever do that. Why would you do that to someone, Alisa?
Yeah.
But now it's like, you know what? When you did this, it hurt me. It bothered me. It upset me. I have to understand. Do you know that you did that? Well, you said no. Okay, but I think you do, because back in the days, I will not tell you, because I told you 2 times before not to do it. So how did you
Yeah.
know? I feel disrespected and I'm going to have an argument with you. And I'm going to
Yeah.
but I had to work on that,
Yeah.
because for me, that brings disharmony. But
Yeah.
I've learned that the people who are meant to be in my life will respect my boundaries and want to know when they hurt me. And I should not withhold that opportunity from them.
Exactly. But do you see how you approach that too? You even approach it not from a, you're still harmonious, but
Yes.
but your tone is intentional and strong. And it's just like, I'm going to bark here. I'm not going to bark loud, but I'm going to show you
What I really feel.
yeah, this is a boundary I'm putting up. So please hear me,
Yeah.
respect me, and feel me.
Yeah.
And your type, like my type, we don't tend to attract people that disrespect that boundary.
Nope.
It just our friends are our friends. Like if we had to do a call, like so what? All right, so we had to change call times. Who cares? Like
Right.
I'm not going to have this big. We respect each other enough that we know the call is being changed for a reason.
Exactly.
So, and that's it. But it's a respect thing. We have boundaries, and I would never ever, like, and I know people that do this. They go behind your back. They talk. You believe she did that? Oh my God, calm down. Like, there's always a reason, and so we don't have that in our life.
Nope.
We don't invite that in.
It releases so much stress because divine time. We believe in divine timing, and everything works out is working for my highest good. And like
absolutely.
People say these things, but when you start to live it, it really, really means something totally different.
Yeah.
But also I respect that everybody's not on that journey. But there's some parts of my travel that they can't go.
Absolutely.
And the thing you said about traveling alone, it's something that's why my social life is always limited, because I was not a person who went to a dinner or a bar or a restaurant or a trip on my own. And I switched that almost 10 years ago. I was like, because I realized I was waiting around at the time for my ex-husband to be available so I can enjoy travel, which I love.
Yeah.
So I can go window shopping, which I love.
Yeah.
I can go in a mall, people watching, which I adore.
Yeah, I could see you. I could see you doing that.
I just sit there. Everything you said, it's like go in there and just watch.
Yeah.
The best. My family disliked that about me because my sister and my mom, we would go to the stores together. And I love looking at all the things. And I may not pick up anything, or I may pick up 500 pieces of things and put back 499 of them at the end of a 2-hour trip.
Yeah.
Because I am common sense to know I didn't need, but I enjoy the experience because this is how you all love to spend time. Yeah. So I get to enjoy it. And I'm like looking at pieces of clothes. And now if you're wearing a certain, I'm like, that is a Calvin Klein because I've seen it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think for you too, I think where other people find your natural ability just to attract people, because I'm sure when you travel, people come up and you start having conversations. You're like, yeah. And
I swear, I have this face. I call it my pretend PRBF, my pretend resting B face. You know why? Because, and even then it doesn't really work. I guess it doesn't really work.
It's your energy.
You get people on the plane and now you wanted to take a nap for 3-4 hours and now you're just sitting here listening to someone's whole divorce story. And I'm like, I'm not even mad because my foolish self, I'm enjoying the heck out of it and bringing
exactly. Yeah.
But then when I'm done, I'm like, you were supposed to sleep. Now you're getting off this flight to go to a birthday party. But I always tell my friends, I said, I have a sticker right here that says, talk to me. You can't see it, but it's there. I can't see it, but it's there. It doesn't matter.
It's energy. It's your energy. Yeah, it's your energy. So some people, might find that, they're like, how does she do that? Like, how do you just go places and people, it's just your energy. It's just, and it's why you're here too. There's a lot of, because you never know who you smile to somebody, you could have changed your whole life.
I'm telling you, I know I have, because people have told me I'm that person who looks at every person at the cash register.
Oh, me too.
And say their name and acknowledge them. And if they look frustrated, tired, aggravated, or being rude, I'm like, hey, Keisha, how many hours, what time do you get off? Oh, I get off in an hour, thank God. I was like, it's been a long day. She's like, I had to work overtime too. I'm like, oh my goodness, girl, that check's going to be nice. She's like, you know what? You're right, but I can't wait to get out of here. Now she's
Yeah.
kicking and cacking.
Yeah.
Give her a little bit of juice for the whatever hour she just said she had. And
Right.
she felt seen,
Yeah.
basic human need. Like someone saw me and knew that this place is burning the crap out of me.
Yeah.
And it mattered.
Yeah. I'll tell you this funny. I was in Publix and I go this lady.
Yeah.
And,
I just realized you're in Florida. Get me some of that rum and raisin ice cream, would you?
Yeah. I go into Publix and, there's one lady, I love her. And I was like, hey, I go, where the hell have you been? I'm in here 3 days in a row. You haven't been, and just laughing, right? She goes, well, yesterday was my birthday. I'm like, get out. We start hugging. I'm like, where are the balloons? We're having this total like conversation, right? And I'm checking out. I am checking out. So we're like laughing. And the guy behind me is sitting there like, he's like, are you guys having fun yet? Like had this stone face. And I'm like, yes. Isn't every day the ordinary things in life supposed to be fun? Like checking out in the grocery store.
Yes.
Isn't it supposed to be fun? Let's make it fun, And it was just so funny. Yeah, I do the same thing. I'm like, wherever I go.
People don't understand that because you talk about travel. There are periods you go through your life. You can't even. I remember being so broke that going to the gym couldn't happen because it would take gas for me to get there. It's only 3 miles away, but I couldn't go because I would burn up gas.
Yeah.
Right? So just think about it. When you go through those periods or you've gone through it, you can be a depressed person that ends up in the hospital with illnesses that you didn't know you had because it's generated over the stress.
Yes.
If you learn to live life in the present, live in the now. We had an entire episode on that. And you learn to make everything a good old celebration. I work so hard, Nina. Let me tell you, I work hard. This is work. Recording a podcast is work. But this is my job. This is what I get to do. I get to talk to people. And people will say, well, you run your mouth all the time. You coach, you speak, you train. Honey, this is hard work. This is draining for us.
Yeah.
We give out so much energy in these microphones.
Yeah.
Every transformational word you feel and hear from Nina is life source energy. Okay. So it's work. It's sometimes harder and not to be compared. But here's the thing. Could you imagine how much I work? And people, when I get on interviews, they say, what do you do for fun? We want to know what Dr. Alisa do for fun. I'm like, everything, anything, showering, eating, recording a podcast episode, whether it's by myself. I mean, go listen to episodes with me. It's just me here. On recording, and I am laughing and snorting. I mean, at 2 a.m, I'm having fun. I mean, it's never a dull moment. And I just decided that I don't know that tomorrow is promised. I don't know that the trip to Bali is going to happen in this lifetime.
Yes.
But I will sit here in my undies and just spread out on the carpet in the living room with a glass of wine and laugh at myself because, girl, what you think, you on the beach?
Yeah.
That's so funny. But I just, I didn't go to Bali, but I'm here. I just took an hour off from all the stuff I do.
Yeah.
Chilling in my undies with a glass of wine.
Yeah.
And laughing at myself because for some reason, 2 minutes before I start laughing, this seemed like I was on the beach drinking Mai Tais. Again,
I love it.
You pick your battles in life, but I'm going to tell you, we will have fun. And what do I do for fun? Everything.
Yeah.
Because trust me, if I'm not enjoying it, and the reason we don't enjoy it is because you don't know why you are, who you are, you don't know your personality type, you're not connected to your true values, core beliefs, and you haven't discovered and unlocked the spiritual being that you are. So your true essence can flow. And this is what this episode is about. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors. We are back for what we don't want to come to. This has been a fun. I believe we have 2 episodes. So go listen to the second one. If you missed the second one, go listen to the first one, whatever. But this is a good dose. This is a vibrant masterclass. We are in the space where we're using our personality type to empower our journey of transformation and growth so you can grow and glow with my sis here. So Nina, we are down to mindset fights to go. Thank you for helping me flip the script of my mindset. Definitely tells me that my journey, what you reaffirmed is that the journey that I've been on of evolving and taking the good and understanding how I could abuse it. And so I
Yeah.
hope you all caught that the good about you and the wonderful gift that you are, if not discipline, as my friend Dr. Kareem says, you have to have discipline and balance. And
Balance
so
is
if you
huge.
know, yeah, if you don't do that, then it could be used as a tool against you and slow you down somewhat. Okay. So Nina, I'm going to give you the microphone, step away, and you're going to speak into the listeners and viewers and let them know what you want them to remember from this episode or two. The microphone's yours. I'll step back.
No, thank you. I'm not going to take up a lot of your time. I think the most important thing is what we don't realize is we are the tools. You chose your personality type before you came here. Divine is not random. He's not going to send you to earth and go, oh yeah, here's your soul mission. Oh, and pick your personality type. It's not how it works. So I really want you to know how important it is to get to know yourself. That's your purpose. That is the most grandest adventure of your life, because once you start figuring that out, everything else comes into place. Your purpose, your mate, where you live, how you dress, even what the inside of your house looks like. Everything evolves around that knowingness of knowing who you are. So if you don't know who you are, I strongly suggest you take the mornings, I don't care if it's 10, 15 minutes, and do that exercise I spoke of before. You get yourself quiet before you turn any of your electronics on, and you ask yourself, go in and ask your true self, please show me. Please show me. And you will start to get answers. And these answers are going to change your life. Slowly but surely, it's going to change. And I'm going to tell you, if you look back 3 months, if you start doing this today and look back from 3 months today, you're going to be changed. So I hope that helps you. If you have questions, I'm on everywhere. Just Nina Zapala. Just ask me a question. I mean, I love it. My YouTube channel, I teach all the time on YouTube. So if you want to go over there, go over there. Go listen. Everything's free. So Dr. Alisa was so grateful to have me on. She's a beautiful person, and you can tell she knows her true self. So this was a great episode to show you somebody that's living from their true self, because you can just see her vibrance and her energy is it's so elevated, and she's just smiling all the time. She's having fun. Life is supposed to be fun. Life is about knowing yourself. Life is about being true to yourself first and foremost. And everything else falls into place. That's about all I got.
Whoa, that was so powerful. Thank you so much for your kind compliment. And there is joy. I tell you guys, you wouldn't believe it. I'm sitting here. I've got a congested nose. It kind of slipped away through the power of just living in your purpose and authenticity. While I'm sitting here, Nina tells you when she came on, I was a little congested.
Yeah.
And it kind of, my nose opened up to being on the call.
Yeah.
And a little bit of tiredness and stuff in my body. Soreness actually too from working out. But we want to encourage you as we close this out, and you get used to her. She'll be back on the podcast. She's also lovingly one of our global impact envoys.
Yay, I love that. So exciting.
And so she's not going anywhere around the platforms. But I want to tell you all, if you go down on my Instagram, and you'll see some videos, and I was very passionate about what I was saying. But I was in a space where I thought, and I was actually trained to be a certain way when I present on video. And that was not me. It was a persona. And I was concealing parts of myself. And I remember getting a call that said, from my mom, and she said, well, are you going to have to do it like that to be a part of what you're a part of? And I'm like, well, that's how they train me. She's like, My sister's like, every time I see you come up on TikTok, I just move over. That stuff is just boring.
Oh my God.
And I come from a very raw, authentic tribe.
I love it.
We're from British Guyana. Hello. If you ever see how Simon Cowell talk to people, I'm like, well, what's wrong with Simon? He's just being honest. Well, That's what we call honest. It's brutal.
Good.
But so that's my tribe. But what I've learned is over time is people connect with you more and value what you have to say, even if they don't agree, based on your authenticity.
Absolutely.
People connect with you not because of your message, because of who you are. People don't buy products and services, they buy you. And so I'm not selling anything on the podcast, but that your mindset is the key to your success. And we're giving it away for free. You got to pay a lot of money to be coached by us, but we give so much. And this is one of the venues of thought leaders from all the world. What I want to encourage you with that note as we leave is connect with Nina. Get the way she does personality types is so different from all the psychological things. It's all the theory and true grit and nature of the psychology and the study, but it's so understandable and relatable. She will guide you along that path. And even though I've done this and I have some familiarity with personality typing, I even use it in my coaching in terms of people figuring out what career, what type of, when people are stuck in that way, I still will have coaching with Nina so I can go deeper and see where my blind spots are and continue to grow so I can glow up even further. So connect with Nina. Her info is in the description. You'll have our website, ninazapala.com, right?
Correct.
And she's always giving she gives at least 3 to 4 times almost every day. She's giving a message. Get the book. Just get the book. You don't want to talk to Nina? You don't want to talk to her right now? Get the book. Get the book. Go to Amazon and buy the book and see how transformational this work will be. I only bring people on the podcast that I believe in their message and I believe in their work. And this one is very, very important to me. And so stay tuned to learn more about what Nina and I will be up to. Maybe we'll have our own little Keeping Up with Nina and Alisa travel show.
Yeah.
We need to go on a trip.
Yes. I'm there.
We should go on travel and we show you, put the book into practice, right? We do our own version of Eat, Pray, Love.
Yes,
Nina,
absolutely.
It's been such an honor. I'm delighted that I get to hang out with you whenever I want. We're always, just a tap away from each other. But you guys want to connect with her. Link is in the description wherever you listen and see this. And for now, we want to remind you, everything begins with your thoughts.
Yes.
Think, speak, do become. Do it in a way that aligns with who you truly are. And you can connect with Nina to find out that.
Yeah.
Nina,
and it's a mindset. Remember that. It's a mindset. So
it's a mindset.
Work together. It just works together. It's just beautiful. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
I love it.
Thank you, everyone. Bye, guys.
Bye.